the SEC moved the last game of the year back to the day after Thanksgiving as opposed to that Saturday?
I think that there's an advantage if you have the opportunity to play in the championship game. If you play on that Friday, that you have an extra day to prepare, get healthy, and I think it benefits any team that plays on that Friday.
Coach, with the exception of last year, the Alabama-LSU game has determined the Western champion, and it looks like that might be the case again this year. Can you talk about that rivalry evolving over your time at LSU?
I can only tell you that anytime you line up against a quality opponent, Alabama being certainly that, well prepared, very talented. Our football team wants to honor that opponent with our greatest effort. We recognize that to win the West, we have to play a great schedule, play well in a number of games, but we're going to have to play well versus Alabama.
Coach, you talk about Jordan Jefferson.
Talk about your quarterback situation with Jordan and what he faces as well.
Well, I think we're improved. What Steve Craigthorpe has done with a veteran Jefferson, I think Jefferson's in a position more now to want to improve and understand the coaching instruction such that it will make him more efficient. I think Jared Lee certainly is still there and pursuing playing. And I think our quarterback position is much improved. I think he's played well through the spring. He's taken leadership and really run the 7-on-7s through the summer. And I'm told that he's really ready to have the year that he's coming to have. So we're excited about it.
What is talk about the depth at the running back position? They've shown segments. I mean, they played a little bit, showed a little bit of talent, but it's a youthful bunch.
It's very youthful but very talented. I like Spencer Ware. I kind of gave a glimpse of what he was capable of from the bowl game. And I think Michael Ford, Alfred Blue, I think those guys are certainly the people that we'll look to first. And I'm not afraid to take a young man, a young freshman, very capable. I think Terrence McGee may be one of those guys. So I think we'll have guys that understand how to run the football back there.
You mentioned Craigthorpe, Coach, and what specifically is he?
Right here.
What specifically has he done to help Jordan?
Well, I think he's the question's about Steve Craigthorpe, and I think he's very good at quarterback mechanics. I think he understands, how the ball gets where it's supposed to go, and I think he's having an effect there. I think also there's a point in time where when you're well coached, you understand it, you hear it one way for several years, and then somebody comes in and he says the same information, but he says it in a little different way. Suddenly you have more experience and ability to absorb, and I think that's really what's happening too. I think Jefferson's really ready to have the year that he's capable of having, and I think Craigthorpe's influence certainly is real.
Hey, Coach, you have depth across the board. Every position seems except running backs, except linebackers. Year in and year out, it seems linebackers in the area, but compared to the depth you have everywhere else, there doesn't seem to be as much depth there. Do you agree? Do you disagree? And if so, what do you think it is about linebacker? Is it a high school issue inside the state of Louisiana?
No, I'm not saying that I'm unhappy with the depth of linebacker. That's your question. I think what happens is when you lose a guy like Kelvin Shepard, who really stands in the middle of that defense for quite some time, is a leader and understands the calls, that there'll be a void leadership there. But I think Ryan Baker, we're going to move a guy from the secondary down, kind of like we did in the past, and Garnell Hatcher, let him use his speed and physicality to play, and then Lamine Barrow, and there's a number of guys that will step in there and play extremely well at linebacker. Now they're youthful, they're going to need some experience, they're going to have to take coaching, but I think it happens at every program. I think the observation you make that we're probably more ready to take the field with secondary and defensive line is true, but I don't think we're far behind the linebacker.
Coach, I heard an interview with Patrick Peterson, and he made the statement that he thought your secondary was going to be even better this year, even with him gone. Was that just a statement of humility, or is there anything really?
Patrick Peterson has humility, and I think that if you looked at the bowl game, Patrick Peterson in there, and the MVP of the bowl was another kind of a freshman corner, and so we think that we'll have. I think Mo Claiborne certainly played very, very well. He played opposite Patrick. I think Terrell Simon is another guy that can step in at 6'4", and really have the opportunity to D you up very well. And Ron Brooks and certainly Tyron Matthew will be the two deep corner. Like I said, in the secondary at safety, Craig Lawson, Eric Reed, and Brandon Taylor, all guys that played a lot of football now, and big, fast, physical, very, very fast guys. I agree. The secondary is going to be very good. We'll miss Patrick, but we'll make way.
Les, there's been a lot of information come out recently about recruiting services. What benefit do you see in subscribing to those?
Well, we use Exos. Exos gives us just a tremendous body of work, and we're looking for, certainly want to cover the country. We have to have film, video on prospects really across the country, and we feel like there's certain areas we need to cover in other years more, and but certainly we want to recruit from Houston through to Florida, and we're going to hit those things hard, Texas included. Now, in certain years you're going to be interested in junior colleges, but the point being is you get film, and you get it just as efficiently as you can, and you study it, and that's how we're going to recruit. There's really nothing else that a service can provide us other than the video.
Coach, what are your opinions on Commissioner Sly's proposals that he raised here Wednesday?
I think Commissioner Sly is a guy that understands that there will always be change, and to keep pushing. I think that there's a positive piece there. I think the cost of attendance is a wonderful piece. I think that he brings to light a multi-year scholarship that could possibly exceed 6 years or be 6 years. In my opinion, anything that extends the timeline, that allows our guys to graduate, is a very good thing. I might see that a 2.5 in a freshman year before he plays is a real issue. I have a degree in economics from a very prestigious institution. I can't tell you when I achieved the 2.5. I hope I have. So that may well have prohibited me from taking snaps. Other than my lack of talent, I think that would have been unfair.
Coach Saban has said that a lot of those things that he proposed yesterday weren't discussed at the SEC meeting. Was some of those a surprise to you?
Well, certainly, we had no discussion about those. I'm not saying that the commissioners allowed an editorial before the media, but I certainly would. And it's an interesting piece. You have presidents, you have coaches, and so there's a real different view at times on what makes a quality educational experience. And to me, I've never been one that felt like college was an elitist position. That college was a place where you learn to develop, learn to improve your skills, and learn to compete in the classroom so that you can compete in society. I think that that's a process that has been going on now for years, and that 2-point graduate has got his degree, and I think that's a wonderful piece. And not everybody can be a doctor, but it's nice to have that degree when you pursue advancement in any business. So I don't know. I think the attempt was good. I think it's too big a hurdle for young people to climb.
Coach, you talked about the Alabama. You talked about the Alabama rivalry. You talked about the Arkansas series, because in the last few years it's been
really, really good.
Yeah, we seem to have had some of the exciting games, and I can remember triple overtimes, and it just seems like every time we line up, we play those guys very close. Yeah, it's a great rivalry. There's any question.
What's your opinion about paying players in college?
I don't think paying players is the point. I really think it's cost of attendance. Here's the issue. You know, you look at the things that go on, you know, that have certainly marked the newspaper most recently, and you say if a college athlete felt like he had cost of attendance, he was not going to be wealthy, but he was going to live and be able to live, you know, with his means, might take some of those temptations away from, you know, how do I sell my memorabilia, how do I get my tickets, how do I get my jersey, how do I do that? Well, I'm okay. You know, and maybe that would change the landscape there. I don't know if that's true, but I know that there's an opportunity for us to look at it as a scholarship, the opportunity for him to have a cost of attendance view. I think it's a positive. I think it's worth discussing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
Have a good season.